Hello, my dear listeners. My name is Kishore Ganesh, and in this episode of the Vocal About Visuals podcast, I'll be reviewing Ajay Gnanamuthu's Cobra, starring Vikram, ex-cricketer Irfan Pathan, K.S. Ravi Kumar, Srinidhi Shetty of KGF fame, and many, many others. The movie is streaming right now on Sony Live. I'll begin my Cobra review by saying this. It's yet another Vikram movie that has been victimized by negative, sensationalist, and clickbaity Twitter buzz. I guess no movie is immune to sweeping opinions in this largely nuanceless binary world that we currently find ourselves in. But I have observed a lot of Vikram's movies almost unfairly finding themselves at the receiving end of these opinions. Vikram's Sami Square, for example, I ended up not even watching that film in the theaters thanks to the badly cut trailer and the negative word of mouth. But when I watched the film, what I found was that it was in fact a competent, if a very repetitive film. In fact, it is exactly the same as part 1. But still, as a standalone product, the movie is not even close to being bad. But according to the nameless, faceless perception that surrounded the film, it was unbearable. And Cobra is yet again in the same space. One difference is that almost 20 to 30% Cobra is downright unwatchable, so it is not completely fine. But the other 80% is actually decent, and some of the sequences are staged in a manner that is truly unique. I'm talking about that scene, which of course I'm gonna be intentionally vague about so that I don't spoil it for you guys, where all those 5 people are on screen with Vikram in the interrogation room and also in the climax. And there are quite a few other examples of the uniqueness of Ajay Gnanamuthu on display here. The major plot twist is superb, as are the several other minor ones that you can find in this film. In fact, the entire second half is much superior to the first half of the film. And one of the main reasons for the unwatchability of the first half is the mandatory hyping of the hero that has to happen in a quote-unquote big hero film. The hype is largely done by this character called Judy, decent end product. But if this was a trimmed down version, I have to say this could have used still more trimming. But all this said and done, any film with Vikram in it will not be as bad as a word of mouth. This is the thumb rule that I have for his movies, and I'm glad that this thumb rule stands true in this case as well. This film is a full-on Vikram show, with him showcasing all his talents to the hilt, from prosthetics, multiple characters, and even voice acting, whether for better or for worse. In my opinion, it worked. All of this worked, albeit some restraint might have done this film a lot of good, especially with the prosthetics. But in a world of sweeping opinions, one bad thing means the entire thing is bad, right? So this film got slated for it. Going back to Vikram's skill sets, all his acting talent is actually ably assisted by Ajay Gnanamuthu's writing and direction. To a decent extent, Vikram, though, is the soul of the film, and there is some entertainment to be had, especially in the second half of this movie. That said, when we have to look at this film on the whole, it is Ajay Gnanamuthu's writing that has let him and it down. Basically, what I'm saying is, Gnanamuthu's writing succeeds in creating a showcase of Vikram's abilities, but it kind of fails in telling a tight and neat story from start to finish. And my feeling is maybe an additional writer slash script doctor and more help from the editor could have helped him in this cause. On the whole, to watch in the theaters, sure, Cobra might have been a harder sell unless it is to a Vikram fan or even hardcore movie fans. But as an OTT film, you could do a lot worse than Cobra. Check it out on Sony Live. Once again, my name is Kishore Ganesh. This is the Vocal About Visuals podcast, and thank you, my dear listeners, for your time and for listening. Please do give this podcast a follow on your preferred podcast platforms and on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter at Podcast Plural for additional information about all the upcoming episodes. Thank you.